Let's go!
There was a bunch of relevant Marvel vs. Capcom news, not directly associated with the game because, don't get me wrong, we ain't getting a new MVC game anytime soon. Tokon needs to exist and be a thing and have its own fan base and all that kind of stuff, right? The last thing I want is a brand new Marvel vs. Capcom to be announced anywhere close to Tokon. I don't want that. But that's fine. I'm here for the long haul, and I want my baby, MVC, if it does eventually happen, to be given justifiable treatment, you know, to actually exist and not have to battle against a Dragon Ball Fighters 2 or some kind of crazy thing. So for anybody that's like, oh gosh, I thought this was an MVC announcement, I need to let you guys all know that is not happening anytime soon, if not at all. What I'm doing is perusing the environment that is around MVC as a franchise, as well as, you know, Tokon existing and all of this stuff. The whole thing I'm doing is just looking at hints. What's going on around the nebula that is all these franchises and, you know, what Marvel Games is doing, what Capcom is doing. And weirdly enough, you would think that there would be a finality to all this MVC stuff. Just like, hey, you know what? Here's that collection. See you later. But they didn't, and they came back. And even 6-7 months later, they're like, here's updates with new stuff, and here's new things, and here's new music, new toys, which actually has a new trailer, and here's new announcements related to other Marvel vs. Capcom projects. And it's like, bro, wait a minute, was Tokon not the knife to the beating heart of Marvel vs. Capcom? Is that not what's going on? It's funny, right? All I gotta say is funny. Let's go live to what happened at Comic-Con today. This is a live feed from Comic-Con, Chad. Here we go. This is San Diego Comic-Con right here. Announced earlier today. Here's a tweet with it. Marvel vs. Capcom Ultimate Complete Works hardcover art book, out of print for over a decade. This 336-page updated edition features over 140 new pages of content. So yeah, I was about to say, I have this book, bro. This is the book I made a video about back in the day. There's also a deluxe edition that includes 6 metal cards and 6 enamel pins. Jesus, they added over 140 new pages. I was gonna say, this page looks really familiar. Because it is. There was a Udon-made Marvel vs. Capcom art book made back in 2013. How do I know this? What's up, folks? Maximilian here, and I wanted to give you a quick rundown of the book that I was talking about a little while ago. Now, damn, this is casual 90% consumed bottle of sriracha. It's the Versus series art book from Udon Entertainment. If you guys aren't familiar with Udon, they've actually published many other art books in the past related to Street Fighter and fighting games, and this one is specifically for like the Marvel vs. Capcom series, and is the hardcover version that was at 2012, Comic-Con, man. So I'm gonna this was literally around Comic-Con of 2012, which I think I went to. Give you a brief, quick rundown of this book. Go back to the sriracha bottle, bro. I'll go downstairs and grab this book, dude, because I still have it. And it was an okay art book. Funny enough, I think Bruno mentioned that Dan is missing. Yeah, new artwork. And obviously, this is the same stuff they made for the collection, but there's a whole bunch of new stuff. I think this is some fan works and things like that. This is the old stuff and brand new actual... Jesus, brother. Open image and new tab. Look at this. Ruby Heart rendered in 2025. MVC2 Rogue. Good goddamn, it's gorgeous. Yeah, what are they going to include? Because 140 brand new pages of content? That's a ton. That's so much. I did see some other stuff in here. Because obviously this has changed. There has been a passage of time since that book like 12 years ago, 13 years ago. 140 new pages. It comes with 6 exclusive collectible metal cards by the artist Panzer and 6 pins by Chamba. We are making Marvel versus official Marvel versus Capcom product, not just the Marvel side or just the Capcom side. No. We are making new Marvel versus Capcom product in 2025. And dude, they have an MVCI section. That's crazy. So there's actually a dedicated portion of the book to all the conceptual art. Hopefully a lot more conceptual art than was just in the game itself, because a lot of this is in the game itself. Holy crap, dude. That's great. That's perfect. So it's actually caught up to all the current MVC games, probably as well as the collection. But yeah, they're also making pins, my dude. They are literally, can I open a new tab? Thank you. Yes, they are actually making pins. I think Chamba designed these. A new official Marvel vs. Capcom product in 2025. I'm definitely getting the book to look at stuff. I know almost every single piece of Marvel vs. Capcom associated art almost ever made. There's probably very few that I have never seen. All I gotta say is, if there is something in there that I have not seen before, like these are actual new renders. These are new renders by Chamba, right? But these are pins. That's why they're rendered this way. I don't think there's going to be anything crazy like a teaser or what they have done in, previous like Mega Man games. One of the Mega Man collections literally had a boss artwork from Mega Man 11 before it was out by like a year or two. My dude, I think we've already seen the teaser. Personally speaking, I think the teaser that possibly came in the form of a 6 to 7 month later update to the MVC collection with all the new music and stuff like that, I think that stuff is more of a teaser than anything. I think the songs are likely the teaser, as well as like some of the new artwork that was added. I was like, dude, what is this? The choices here are weird. That kind of sparked the entire, like, is there a something for MVC happening in the future? Is there? But then Tokon was announced and it was like, oh no, it's completely dead. It's totally dead. Look at all this stuff, man. Look at all this. I am liking this association. Dr. Doom is adjacent to M. Bison, which is what they did in the artwork. Ryu is adjacent to Cyclops, and Chun-Li is adjacent to Psylocke. Why does that make sense? Because Capcom literally did it themselves. Ryu and Cyclops adjacent, Chun-Li and Psylocke adjacent, the Caps obviously adjacent, Bison and Doom adjacent. So that's lining up. That's lining up with like how Capcom and Marvel look at Marvel versus Capcom. When you think of which characters collide and team up together, it pretty much boils down to Marvel superheroes and X-Men versus Street Fighter shit. So, I mean, to me, that's fascinating. These things aren't here just for like haphazard reasons, chat. These are all here for a reason, like why these characters are adjacent to each other, Mega Man to Iron Man. There's a lot of really cool stuff in this book and stuff that I think a lot of other people have not seen before. Chat, I actually have this poster right outside my room. I have the original of this Joe Mad poster from Marvel Superheroes. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. This is Marvel 2. MVCI, the variant cover. They're gonna have all the comic book covers, which some of them were very cool. For MVCI back when they came out. Yeah, that's awesome. Anyway, it's rather expensive, but it's like, Jesus, like how many pages is this book gonna be? It's like 300 to 400 pages. Bitch is gonna be thick AF. Is it the conclusive, absolute evidence that aliens are real? The deep state exists? It's not. All it is just lining up once again that in the eyes of Marvel and Capcom, Marvel vs. Capcom is not done. They are still investing and making things around it, but as of right now, the last thing that we know is an actual reality is the collection. This is cool, man. If there was something for MVC in the future that allows it to exist, this is exactly how I would do it. I would not just go dark for the longest period of time. I would obviously have that collection come out and a whole bunch of people are like, hey, yeah, MVC's wonderful, we love this. And then I would just like drip feed little things on that way. If there was like a pathway, there's clearly like a road where there's a big announcement that can happen that is not a big MVC announcement, that is like, hey, you know how we fixed all the other MVC games? Here's that one fix to the one MVC game that matters the most, which is Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Marvel 3 could, at some point down that road, could possibly get an update or a rollback patch or something like that. MVC 3 rollback is probably one of the most requested fighting games of all time to receive rollback netcode. Capcom did justice, dude. They went back to all of the old games and did it. That's one that is in there that, in my opinion, is one of those things that could just be on the way to, you know, on the way to infinite glory of getting MVC back. It's just, with all this other shit, something that could exist. You know what I mean? So that's it, right? Believe it or not, that's not the only quote-unquote MVC thing that was at Comic-Con. This is Dan, who heads the Marvel Legends like marketing team, I think. I think he handles Marvel Legends marketer. Yes, he works for like Hasbro. He makes the Marvel toys, right? He makes the all of the Marvel Legends like figures, responsible for marketing that. They premiered this at Comic-Con. Characters doing literally all their MVC2 stuff. Because they are MVC2 figures. This is all of them, by the way. These are the MVC2 figures. Watch this. Brother. They got this dude to animate literally Weapon X frame to frame. This is so sick, man. This is like the coolest way to market these figures because yes, they are literally just Marvel vs. Capcom figures. One-to-one Weapon X, including the goofy little jump he has. I've seen it a billion times. So yeah, like these Marvel Legends toys are like all pre-orderable right now. They're apparently like blowing up. They're kind of hard to come by. I only got like Psylocke and I think it was Psylocke and Thanos together. But yeah, dude, that's kind of an incredible homage to the MVC series, because all of these figures are just an homage to the 90s era MVC series. That's cool. The Psylocke and Thanos one was the hardest to get. Well, I'm lucky I got a pre-order on that one. MVC is not dead. We are 1 week away from having the biggest Marvel vs. Capcom 2 tournament of all time, ever in human history, and that's because Capcom put a shit ton of effort into that collection to make sure that MVC2 is actually up to speed of being the new competitive standard. All I gotta say is, nah, dude, I think MVC lives, brother. All I can say is that we all know what we want this to lead to. We all know what endgame is. Of all the efforts that was like, of me putting into the efforts of free MVC2, I didn't want to, quote unquote, free MVC2 4 years ago because I just wanted to destroy people in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 or something like that. I wanted free MVC2 to happen so that other people can enjoy these games. I have all these games, man, and I've been playing them for the past like 10, 20 years. Most people do not. So folks, that entire era was just lost on so many people, and I wanted them to experience it, to realize that this shit is really fun, and it worked, and the MVC collection did well, and it's like, oh, damn, bro. So yes, like there is still like a demand even for this really old shit in like 2024. So that's all I wanted, but that's not the end game. The end game for all of this stuff is that Marvel vs. Capcom can exist and can be successful and can find its footing. The saddest thing about the MVC series ever since Marvel 2 is that with Marvel 3 and MVCI and Marvel Origins, these games all debuted with extremely detrimental circumstances. Marvel 3 got its expansion within like 6-7 months. It got its expansion announced 4 months after it came out. Hugely detrimental to the success of that game. MVC Origins came out and it was just MVC 1 and Marvel superheroes. It didn't include X-Men versus Street Fighter because at the time Marvel was no X-Men. Everyone was like, no X-Men. And then MVCI came out, exact same problem, no X-Men. Roster severely compromised, visuals, everything compromised. It's like, dude, this franchise has gotten it so rough over the past like 3 games, and the only time it didn't get it mega rough was Marvel vs. Capcom Collection, and it just came out on everything. It just ran well, had all the stuff people wanted, and guess what? Found success. All I gotta say is that I'm happy right now. I think MVC's in a good spot. I don't think you should be expecting any new games anytime soon because that's the end game, bro. Right now, we're like in phase 2. Right now, in my brain, we are currently in phase 2, and you're wanting to skip directly to end game. It's not that, man. That is not it. If you want our eventual Infinity War, the Infinity War is Marvel vs. Capcom 3 rollback netcode. That's Infinity War. Endgame is, we know what happens there.